Hey, so I'm going to give you my report card on Trump's first 100 days. Keep in mind, I'm conservative. I did vote for Trump, so fair disclosure. Okay, let's take the easy stuff first, the border. As far as preventing people from coming into the country, I'm going to have to, say he gets an A. He has effectively closed down the border. It literally took him a day. So we went from having, 5, 6, 7,000 people a day coming across the border to literally none. So I'm going to give him an A as far as the border preventing immigration. Now, as far as deportations, I'm probably going to give him a B. And the reason is he's doing it very sloppily. And he's causing a lot of controversy that doesn't need to be there, in my opinion. Tom Homan, who's the head of, I don't know what he is, the immigration, I guess, whatever. He doesn't have an official title, but whatever Tom Homan is, he can do the job, but he's the wrong spokesman. He's too hard. He reminds me of Mr. Sweat, my junior high school vice principal. The guy is just not subtle. He's not very good at explaining things. When they say, well, you've deported 2-year-old U.S. citizens. And he's very gruff in his answer rather than just explaining, well, we deported the mom who was illegal and she had the choice of either leaving her U.S. citizen child here or taking her child back with her to Honduras, where this particular lady came from that they were talking about. And he doesn't explain that very well. He doesn't explain, anyway, I think we're a little too rough. I think that the gay hairdresser, hairdresser that they deported was a little too much. I also think that sending people from Venezuela to a prison in El Salvador no, we shouldn't just send them back to fucking Venezuela. What are you doing? So anyway, I give him an A for protecting the border. I give him a B for his actual deportation efforts. Now let's go to, I'm going to go to a tough one here. Tariffs, however you want to pronounce it. Believe it or not, I'm giving him a B on that. The tariffs are actually kind of effective. He did a couple genius things, in my opinion, and you can disagree with me. First of all, he announced these ridiculously high tariffs on all these countries, right? And people freaked out, and the market dropped 10%. And then he backtracked, but he kept a 10% tariff in place on all countries. And he kept a 25% tariff on autos being imported into our country and a 25% tariff on aluminum and steel. And that's going to have a huge impact down the road, not a negative impact, but a positive impact. First of all, that 10% tariff, it was like the old sales trick where you ask for $1 and you settle for 25 cents. That's what he did, because now nobody's freaking out about the 10% tariffs across the board. But if he just would have announced those, people would have freaked out. But if he announced 50% tariffs and he drops it down to 10, people say, oh, God, it's only 10, thank God. So that was kind of a genius move. And then the imports, the cars, that's really, really important. And I kind of missed that initially. I thought that, what the hell is he doing Japan, I did a video, Japan is never going to buy our cars. So you can't have equal trade with Japan when it comes to they buy as many cars there as we buy here. But then I didn't realize what he was actually doing was forcing Japan to build more cars here. And if you've watched CNN or MSNBC or any of the major news channels, you don't really know that Japan and Korea have both announced that they're doing additional manufacturing facilities in America. General Motors has canceled their big Mexican build that they were going to do to build another factory in Mexico, and they're bringing that back to America. A lot of companies have decided to manufacture in America to avoid the tariffs or the hassles. So that is very effective. And I know certain people will say, well, manufacturing is dead and it's never going to come back. And that's absolutely not true. People quote, it's 9% of the GDP is manufacturing. Well, that's true, but 17% of the actual dollars of the GDP are manufacturing. So 9% of the jobs, 17% of the economy is actually manufacturing. Manufacturing jobs pay on average about twice as much as a regular job. And when General Motors, decides to build a manufacturing plant in America rather than Mexico, that's literally tens of thousands of jobs, high-paying jobs, not just for the people that are working at the factory, but all the suppliers, all the tire manufacturers, all the restaurants and stores that open up around this plant. The entire economy changes when there's a auto manufacturing facility, and that's really gonna make a difference down the road. Not tomorrow, but year, 2, 3 years from now, you're gonna see that there's a lot more manufacturing jobs, a lot more high-paying jobs in this country than there is now, and I think that's important. As far as the war with China, that's got to happen. The trade war with China is going to happen. It has to happen. Both sides are going to end up blinking. But again, like Kevin O'Leary said, it's not just the trade deficit problem, but it's they're stealing our IPs. They steal our intellectual property. If you have something that you're manufacturing in China, they will steal your patent, they will steal your IP, and they will take your product and basically sell it at half the price. So, yeah, that tariff war with China has to happen. I'm not going to get into too many details. I know most of you probably disagree with me, but I'm going to give him a B on his tariff wars. I think that's an effective strategy. All right, foreign policy. Man, what a mixed bag. On Ukraine, you got to give him a B+. You do. He's trying. He's basically saying, trying his best to try to end this war. And I think the biggest problem that he's having there is that Ukraine seems to be a little stubborn at this point. And what they don't seem to understand is they lost. Okay? They were going to lose from the beginning. The only way that this could continue is if we continue to fund them. And then Zelensky's talking about Crimea. He's not going to ever recognize Crimea. Dude. Crimea was lost 11 years ago. I didn't notice you said anything about that before. Suddenly you're going to make that a big issue. It's gone, okay? Russia invaded Crimea without a shot being fired. 90% of the people in Crimea want to be part of Russia. 90% of them actually speak Russian. Nobody actually asked them to vote when they were annexed by Ukraine, and now they've been annexed by Russia. And guess what? There's not a damn thing we can do about it. Unless you want to go to war, unless you want to put boots on the ground, you want to have a nuclear war with Russia? I don't. So the fact is, they've got Crimea, they own Crimea, and Zelensky needs to shut up about it. Anyway, I'm going to give him a B+ when it comes to ending the war, attempting to end the war in Ukraine. As far as the Israel conflict, I'm going to give him a C-. And I probably should, he may end up getting a C+ in this, but right now he's a C-, basically because he said really dumb things about turning it into a Riviera and America basically taking it over, which we have no intention or desire to do. Secondly, that he's attacking the crap out of the Houthis, blowing them up left and right, and there's no reason for that. The Houthis are not a threat to us. Basically, after the last ceasefire that fell through between Hamas and Israel, the Houthis, when they started, shooting at ships again in the Suez Canal, they are only shooting at Israeli ships. They're not shooting at American ships. They're not shooting at European ships, okay? It's really not our business. And again, Trump criticized Biden heavily for bombing the Houthis last year on the Tim Dillon podcast, and now he's doing the exact same thing. So why? We didn't vote for Trump in order to start bombing Yemen, and that's what he's doing. Also with Iran, now this Iran can go either way, because apparently right now, Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson are all in his ear saying, dude, we do not want a war with Iran for the benefit of Israel, which is the only reason we'd ever go to war with Iran or attack Iran. And right now, he's trying to negotiate a peace settlement. The ironic thing is he's trying to get back the exact same agreement that Obama had in place that he canceled. So what he's saying now is he wants his peace deal with Iran to be the one he canceled that Obama made in 2012. So I think that's kind of ironic. But anyway, as far as the Israel conflict, genocide, whatever you want to call it, at this point, I give him a C- because Netanyahu still kind of has us by the balls. Why, I don't understand it, but he does. What else are we talking about here? The economy. The economy's okay. People freak out about the stock market because it dropped 10%. Oh, shut up. How long have you been investing? The stock market drops 10% all the time. Then it rises 20%. Frankly, I was relieved. I'm a big stockholder in Costco, and Costco's doing fine. I mean, they're at like 970, 980 right now, but they were getting a little overheated. The entire S&P 500 and the Dow, the PEs were getting a little overinflated. And frankly, the stock market needed a little bit of a break because it was a little too high for the value of the companies. So it's already recovered and it will continue to recover. I think it's at 40,000 right now, the Dow. Its peak was when it just touched 45, and it'll be back to 45 by September, October, I promise you. So the economy is really, it's not doing fine in the sense that it can't do a lot better, but it's certainly no worse than it was. And I think in a lot of ways it's better. So I'm going to give him, what should I give him on the economy? I guess probably a C plus, B minus. Hasn't completely screwed it up, hasn't improved everything that much. But again, I think these tariffs are going to actually make a difference down the road. His overall performance, his overall presidency, I got to give him a C. And I wish I could give him a higher one grade than that, but he needs to shut up. Donald talks too much. He talks off the cuff. He says ridiculous things sometimes. He has 2, 3 press conferences a day. Dude, slow down. Go through your surrogates. Let JD talk about things. Let other people, discuss the the world as it is, because you just, brother, you talk too much and you say too many things off the cuff without really thinking about it. And I think that it's not a good thing. So I'm giving you a C, giving him, I'm talking to Trump because he listens to my channel, a C as far as your performance, if you will. What else can we grade him on? Doge. Doge started out great. I mean, I thought we were really going to get something with Doge, but then I don't know what happened. Elon's going back to Tesla. That's fine, but I thought he was going to leave his guys there to continue to go through the government and find the waste and abuse. And it seems like that just kind of fell by the wayside. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but he talked during the campaign about literally cutting the defense budget, or certainly not adding to it. And then when they just did that latest CR, when they raised the debt ceiling, the defense budget went from 880 billion to $1 trillion. So I mean, he raised it 15%. What are you doing? When's the audit? Remember that big DOD audit? Department of Defense audit that was going to happen. When is that going to happen? What about all the other cuts that he was talking about? Where are they? It seems like that was a quick flash in the pan and made a bunch of headlines. Some people hated it, some people loved it, and it just seems like it's kind of gone away. And Doge is something that was, I think he ran on that, and I think that needs to continue. But at this point, maybe I'm just confused and I missed it because there's so much ridiculous shit coming out left and right, but I don't see it happening. And that's really something that was important. So he succeeded on the border pretty much. He's kind of, 50-50 in foreign affairs and foreign wars that we certainly don't want to get into. He's a little less than 50-50 when it comes to his overall presentation. And Doge, shit, I'm going to give him a D at this point. There was a point when I was going to give him a B plus. I thought this was really happening. He was really going to go through the government and cut out the waste and abuse. But hell, I don't know what happened. Oh, one other thing, RFK and the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Okay, he's doing baby steps. I mean, you take 8 chemical dyes and you're going to ban those over the next 2 years. Okay, that's a step. That's a baby step in the right direction. But we've got a lot more to do. I don't hear him talking about vaccines. He's afraid. I'll talk about vaccines. I'm not vaccinated against COVID. Are you? I'm sorry if you are, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about the measles that I had. That if you're over 50, you had, and pretty much everybody I know had. Anyway, I think that Bobby needs to step up and be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to Maha, but I'm going to give him a B just because he's doing something. Anyway, take this video for what it's worth. It's just some old retired surfer dude yapping. All right. Have a good one. Bye.